Good Monday morning. It is the last week before spring break. Are you as excited as I am about starting spring break next week? I know you are. You've been working hard and you have earned a break for sure. So let's get ELE started this week and we'll get through this week and then we'll all be able to rest and relax, get outside, and enjoy spring. So we've got 6 words this week in our story that we are going to look at. And so, of course, they're in your book in the bottom of the story. And you're going to have a vocabulary assignment, not today, but tomorrow. So we'll go over these again tomorrow. But let's get these words under our belt so we can read our story together today. The first one is gratitude. I bet you've heard that word before. Gratitude. When you show gratitude, you show that you're thankful. I sent my grandparents a card to show my gratitude for my birthday gift. So gratitude is like thankfulness. It's a synonym for being thankful. Withered, that's a word you probably know. If a plant has withered, it's dried up and died. After 6 weeks without rain, all of the bean plants withered. Scorching. Something that is scorching is very, very hot. I hopped across the beach because the sand was scorching. That happens sometimes at the beach, doesn't it? That sun shines on the sand all day. It burns your bare feet. Scorching sand. Reckless. Someone who is reckless does not care how his or her actions affect others. The reckless driver sped through the red light. Don't want to be reckless. Assumed. If you assumed something, you believed it without proof. Maya assumed the library would be open on Sunday. Have you ever assumed something? I assumed some things sometimes it didn't happen. So you got to be careful about assuming things without proof. Prosper. If you prosper, you'll succeed and do well. If you try your best and never give up, you will prosper. So to prosper is to succeed and do well. So these 6 words, gratitude, withered, scorching, reckless, assumed, and prosper, are the 6 vocabulary words we'll be using this week. In our story, we have an interesting story this week called 10 Sons. It's a Chinese legend. So this finishes up our module we've been working on. And so we've heard tricksters and tall tales, and this is a legend. Legends are stories from the past that are believed by many people, but cannot be proved to be true. Legends may explain how things came to be. The main character is known as the hero. The plot includes the hero overcoming an obstacle. Events or characters have a larger-than-life quality. Fictional videos tell stories in visual and audio form. A narrator tells the tell while images on the screen support the story. That may seem like a weird thing to put here about fictional videos. It was because after we read the story, 10 Sons, we're going to watch a video called 10 Sons. So we'll find out more about it. I don't know much about the story, but I am anxious to read it. So let's jump right in. Excuse me. We're on page, had a little coughing spell. We're on page 124 in your reading book. So get your book out and open it to page 124 so you can read along with me. 10 Sons, a Chinese legend. And here we go. 10 Sons, a Chinese legend, retold by Eric A. Kimmel, illustrated by Yongxing Zhuan. Now, one thing I notice here, it looks like there's 10 maybe boys, Chinese boys in a circle here. But this sun is S-U-N. That's like the sun in the sky. But it looks like there's 10 sons, S-O-N-S. I don't know. But if you look at the shape they're in, what do you notice? It kind of forms a shape like the sun. So maybe this has got something to do with sons and S-U-N-S and sons, S-O-N-S. And I guess we'll find out. If my digital book opens up. Okay, here we go. Wow, look at these illustrations. They look cool. The story of the 10 Sons is one of the oldest Chinese myths, going back as far as the Shang Dynasty, 1523 to 1027 BC. Wow. There's several versions of this myth. Long ago, when the world was new, a giant mulberry tree grew on the far side of the sea. on the edge of the eastern horizon. Its roots plunged deep into the earth, its branches scraped the sky. Nestled in the topmost branches of this tree stood a jade palace. Hammered sheets of gold formed its roof. Its windows were made of the thinnest panes of amethyst and lapis lazuli. This was the palace of Dijun, the Eastern Emperor, the god who ruled the regions of the sky where the sun arises. Look at that palace. Ooh, got some dragons here. In those days, there were 10 sons, the children of Dijun and his wife, Jihi. They never walked across the sky together. That would produce too much heat for the world to bear. Instead, every morning before dawn, Jihi would awaken one of her sons. They would climb into her dragon chariot and drive to a point on the eastern horizon where Jihi's son would begin his walk. Each day, one of the sons would walk across the sky from east to west. When the people on earth saw the sun crossing the heavens, bringing warmth and light, they offered thanks to Dijun, Jihi, and their family. Lucas, since your family has some Chinese heritage, maybe they can tell me the correct pronunciation of these names, because I'm probably not saying them right. But the gratitude of the earth's people and the importance of their work meant nothing to the boys. They found their tasks boring. Day after day, year after year, century after century, they followed the same path across the sky. There was no one to talk to, nothing new to see, nothing to do except follow that same weary track over and over again. So the 10 sons are not real happy. There's one is with his mom riding to the eastern horizon. What's going to happen next, I wonder? One night, as Dijun's boys lay in bed, they began talking. Wang Fing-heng, the oldest, said, "I would not mind walking the path so much if I had some company." "I feel the same way," Pi Li-jing, the youngest, replied. "Tomorrow, let's do something different. Why don't we all get up early and take the dragon chariot and walk across the sky together?" The others agreed. A splendid idea. In the dark of night, while their parents slept, the boys arose and put on their brightest garments, hitched the dragon to their mother's chariot, and rode across the star-swept sky to the eastern horizon. Laughing, chattering, with their arms around one another's shoulders, they began their walk. What do you think's going to happen? When dawn came, the people who lived on earth were astonished to see 10 suns appear above the horizon. The blazing heat of 10 suns shining down at once was more than the world could bear. Crops withered in the fields, forests caught fire, lakes and rivers dried up, mountains shattered to pieces. The sea began to boil. People and animals grew faint. They stretched themselves on the scorching ground and waited to die. Well, that's terrible, isn't it? These boys are messing everything up. Come on, my book's slow today. The great Emperor Shun, who ruled the nations of the world, cried to the Eastern god, Dijun, "Why are you punishing us? What have the creatures of earth done to deserve this terrible fate? Have we not followed the proper rites? Have we not offered the correct sacrifices? Why have you sent your sons to destroy us?" The great emperor's cries woke Dijun and Jihi. They looked out the window of the Jade Palace. In the distance, they saw their 10 sons marching together across the sky. Dijun and Jihi called to them, "Come back at once. Go no further." But the boys did not listen. Earth was far below. They could not see the damage they were causing. Higher and higher they climbed until they reached the place where the sun stands at noon. Dijun could not allow the world to be destroyed. The existence of all living things depended on him. If his sons would not abandon their reckless walk, he would have to stop them. Dijun summoned Hu Yi, the archer of heaven. Yikes. So 10 suns in the sky. Can you imagine? That would be pretty scary. I guess hot too. It's burning everything up. Hu Yi had once been a man. He introduced the science of archery to the world by inventing the bow and arrow. As a reward for his discovery, the gods placed him in the heavens among the constellations. Dejun presented Hu Yi with a magic bow and 10 magic arrows. With tears filling his eyes, he told Hu Yi, "Shoot down the 10 sons, my sons, who are burning up the earth." Hu Yi refused. "How can I harm your boys? They are like my children. I taught them to shoot with a bow and arrow. We both still love them, even when they disobey." Wow, so he was going to have this archer shoot his sons? But he wouldn't do it. "I love the creatures of the earth, too. I must protect them," Dejun told Hu Yi. "Do not be afraid. You will not harm the boys. My sons will not be hurt, but they will be changed. Never again will they cross the sky as sons. They will be gods no more. Hurry, do as I command. There is no time to spare. The earth is dying." Hu Yi took Dejun's bow and magic arrows. He rode the wind down to earth, taking his place on top of the white mountain. He planted his feet firmly and took careful aim. Hu Yi released the bowstring. The magic arrow streaked across the sky. It struck the first of 10 suns, shattering it to pieces. One by one, Hu Yi's arrow found their mark. Each sun exploded, filling the sky with blinding light. The boys fell to earth, but they did not die. Instead, they turned to black feathered birds. They became crows. This is quite the interesting story, isn't it? The Emperor Shun watched the suns explode in the sky. Suddenly he realized that if Hu Yi destroyed all the suns, there would be no heat or light. The earth would be plunged into icy darkness. There was no time to spare. The Emperor Shun summoned his fastest messenger. "Go to the top of White Mountain, find Hu Yi, remove one arrow from his quiver to make sure he does not shoot down all the suns." The messenger mounted his horse. He rode faster than he'd ever ridden in his life, all the way to the top of White Mountain. There he saw Hu Yi. By now, only one sun remained in the sky. Shun's messenger plucked the last arrow from Hu Yi's quiver just as the archer of heaven reached for it. Finding no more magic arrows, Hu Yi assumed his work was done. He unstrung his bow and rode the wind back to the stars. Since that day, only one sun shines overhead. Every morning, the crows gather on White Mountain to greet the dawn. "Quaw, quaw," they call to their brother, the sun, as he begins his lonely walk across the sky. For they remember that once they too were gods, and hope for the day when their parents Dejun and Jihi will forgive them. What do you think? Did you like the story? It was interesting. It was a legend for sure. I don't know that that's my favorite story we've read this year, but that's okay. I don't have to like them all. You might have really liked it. Well, I'm interested to see they've added a video to this story. So I wonder if this video is going to be anything like the story we just read. This video is called 10 Sons. So I'm going to start it. We'll watch it together and then we'll talk some more.
The 10 Sons. Once upon a time, there were 10 sons. They took turns bringing light and warmth to the earth. Each day, one son would travel across the sky from east to west. The sons enjoyed being together. After a while, they did not want to be alone in the sky. One day, the 10 sons decided to travel together. They traveled across the sky and were very happy together, but the people on earth were very, very hot. Plants and trees died. Rocks melted, and all the water began to dry up. The people of China begged their emperor Yao to tell the sons not to do this ever again. But the 10 sons liked traveling together. and did not listen to the emperor. Yao asked them again and again to stop traveling together. He explained how hot it was on Earth, how the plants could not grow, and the animals had no water to drink. He told them how the people had no food, all because the sons wanted to travel across the sky together. Still, the 10 sons did not listen. The emperor did not know what to do. He wanted the sons to be happy, but not if it meant Earth had to suffer. Finally, he decided to send his most brave and clever archer, Yi, to talk to the 10 sons. Yi dressed in his thick cloth uniform to protect himself from the heat. He strapped his bow and arrows onto his back, grabbed his shield, and went off to complete his task. When Yi saw the sons, he asked them to stop traveling together. They did not listen to him. He continued to walk closer and closer to the sons. He held his shield above his head. The heat of the 10 sons reflected off Yi's shiny shield and bounced back toward them. Finally, the sons understood how hot their rays were. Yi explained to the sons how they could continue to stay together in the sky. One by one, the suns began to break into pieces. The tiny pieces spread themselves across the sky in all directions until only one sun was left. As the last sun continued to move toward the west, the tiny pieces sparkled throughout the night sky. The emperor and the people of China were thankful, and Earth began to prosper again.
What'd you think? That version was a little different from the one in the book, wasn't it? I think I actually like that one better because at least it's not an archer shooting at the sons trying to kill them and then they turn into crows. I like that version we just watched on the video better. Okay, well, that's our stories for the week. Our story, we just get 2 versions of it this week. So we'll watch those again on Wednesday. Okay, let's go move into our phonics, our decoding for today. So this week, we're dealing with words with a vowel, consonant, vowel. So remember last week it was vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Some of the words last week had double consonants in the middle. This week it's vowel, consonant, vowel, like UTA, USI, vowel, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant, vowel. So all these words have that pattern in them. And there's a rule, thinking about the syllables in a word, like how many syllables are in a word, how many beats you hear per word. Here's the rule for vowel, consonant, vowel words. If a vowel, consonant, vowel word divides before the consonant, in other words, if the split in the syllables comes before the consonant, the first syllable is open and it has a long vowel sound. Open means it doesn't end with a consonant. It's open, A or O or U or I. This has a long vowel sound. But if the word divides after the consonant, the first syllable is closed. That means it has a consonant at the end and has a short vowel sound. So if we see a long vowel sound on any of these words, the break in the word would come, what does it say? It would come before the consonant, okay? So mutant. So you hear the difference. It's mu, and then tunt is the second syllable. Mu is the first syllable. Tunt is the second syllable. Mutant. Same thing with music. Mu, sick. And same thing with unite. You, night. But now look at this. This is a short vowel sound. So the break comes after the consonant. So it's pun-ish, pun-ish. Short vowel. Have it. Okay. Short vowel. Figure. The long vowels, remember, the break comes before the consonant. Siren. Polite. Detail. Motel. Relay. Frozen. So we had a lot of them with the long vowel sound. So if that first vowel is a long vowel sound, the break comes between the vowel and the consonant. And when you're saying the word, if it's a short vowel sound, the break comes after that consonant. Open means it's a vowel sound you're holding in you're ending that first syllable with. A lot of times, if you decide later on to get in choir and maybe middle school and high school, I encourage you to. When you're singing, your director might say, leave that open. I took some music classes in college too. And so when you're singing, if you were singing the word mutant, you would say mutant. But if you tried to close it off and mute, you can't make a sound if you put the T. So mute, and it doesn't sound right if you're trying to sing it. So you have to leave it open. Mute, leave your mouth open. Tut. So that's another way to think about it too. Let's look at to see what we can find in these sentences. Single, is that a vowel, consonant vowel? It's not. Figure is. Vowel, consonant, vowel. Okay, so an I is a short vowel sound, so it's fig. We take the break after the G. Figure. Here's a vowel, consonant, vowel. Skay, it's a long A sound, so it's skating. The consonant, the break comes before the consonant. Frozen. Okay. Okay, we have another music. Student. Event. You get the idea? So just thinking about those syllables, thinking about how we read those words, where we put those syllables when we read the words, okay? Now, all of our spelling words have these vowel, consonant, vowel patterns in them. So let's take a look at our spelling words for this week. And here they are. Event, humor, rapid, music, relief, planet, detail, unite, frozen, figure, siren, polite, decode, motel, protest, punish, defend, relay, student, broken, award, novel, private, and descent. It's hard to think about that when you're saying those words. There's not many short vowel sounds in that first vowel, consonant, vowel pattern. Most of them are long. So these are the words that you'll need to spell. You might want to take out a sheet of notebook paper and jot them down so that you can know how to spell them, practice them with your mom and dad before your test on Friday. Okay, well, I'm going to keep it pretty simple today for your assignment since we've had kind of a longer lesson today. All you're going to do for me today is we're going to work with words. We're going to work with synonyms this week. So we're going to have some word lists. You're going to be finding some synonyms for them. You're going to be doing different activities with synonyms. And of course, synonyms are words that mean the same. You've got synonyms, same, antonyms, opposite. You know that by now. We've been talking about them all year. So this week we'll focus on synonyms. So check out your synonym assignment and get it done for me. And that's the only thing you have to turn in for ELA today. I'll let you get started. We'll have more ELA fun tomorrow. See you then.